Hello, YouTube. This is Medley again with another rousing American Girl doll story for you. So in my last video, I told you how I moved to Alaska, and that happened right after I got Kirsten. We moved here in August that year after I got Kirsten. So when we got here, I was very surprised that the sun was still up at 11 o'clock p.m. And so that took a little getting used to. But I really love it here now. I've been here for a very long time. And it's a great place to live. So when we first moved here, we were outside a lot. The snow was new to us, so we went sledding and skiing and skating and building igloos and all sorts of things, and it was a lot of fun. But my dad, he quit his job that moved us to Alaska after only a few months, and he left. And eventually my parents ended up getting a divorce, and my mom, who was a stay-at-home mom, had to get a job, and she had to work nights. She worked at an airline, and so she slept all day and went to work at night. And so we couldn't be off running around while she was sleeping, so we ended up spending a lot more time at home than we had before, and I discovered TV. We never really watched TV when I lived in California, but Alaska made us a lot more inactive, I guess. If you're not a super outdoorsy person, you don't really want to put on all the gear to go outside because it can be a lot. I started watching a lot of Nick at Night. I loved Nick at Night. I loved the oldies station. I loved everything 60s and 70s. I thought it was great. And 50s too, I guess. All of those old things I really, really liked. Around this time, I was wanting another doll. I played with Kirsten all the time, and I really wanted a companion for her. Well, my first doll of choice was Addie. I loved Addie. I thought she was gorgeous. She had like a prairie outfit, kind of like Kirsten had, and I thought they would be the best of friends. I begged my mom for Addie, and her answer was no. One, because we didn't really have the money, and two, because she didn't understand why I would want a black doll. And at that time, people didn't really get dolls that were of a different race than them very often. Nowadays, I think it's more common, but back then, my mom was just confused of why I would want a black doll, and she doesn't remember that. But, kids, you remember things, and sometimes you remember them wrong, so who knows what her actual words were. But I just know she wouldn't let me get Addie, and I was pretty bummed about that. I decided that maybe I would think about another doll if I couldn't get Addie. So I looked at the catalogs like I had with Kirsten, and lo and behold, they came out with a new Girl of Today line. And I was very excited to see modern clothes and modern outfits and things. And they had so many dolls to choose from. Well, my favorite show was Bewitched. And Bewitched had a character, Samantha Stevens, who I thought was beautiful. She had blonde hair and green eyes, and I thought, oh, yeah, I'll get a Samantha doll. But it was a little confusing because there was already a Samantha doll, and then this would be another Samantha doll. But she would just have the same hair as Kirsten, just with those neon green eyes that really terrified me. So I decided to scratch that idea. I didn't want the neon green eyes. So then I thought, well, I Dream of Jeannie. Well, no, Jeannie would be blonde hair, blue-eyed like Kirsten. That doesn't make any sense. So then I was like, all right, I Love Lucy it is. I decided I'm going to get a Lucy doll. And so I looked through all of them, and they only had like auburn hair. They didn't have like orange hair like Lucy had. And I was too young to understand that Lucy dyed her hair and that her hair was naturally brown. But that's okay. I decided, okay, red hair, blue eyes, so she could be Lucy. So I got Truly Me 17 and named her Lucille McGillicuddy. I just fell in love with her instantly once I got her. I didn't get her right away because, like I said, we didn't really have the money for it. So after 6th grade, this was in 1996, I had done something for my mom to help out. I don't remember what it was. I should remember that. It's probably in my journal somewhere. But she decided that as a big thank you that she would get me my Lucy doll that I had dreamed of. So when she arrived, I was at a friend's house, and my mom called over there to tell me that she was there. And so we rushed over to open her up, and I was just so happy that my Kirsten had a companion. They were the only American Girl dolls I had for just about 20 years. Now, Downy Dunks. So I mentioned in my last video that Kirsten's hair was really bad. It was like straw. It was really, really gross. So my first attempt was doing a Downy Dunk. And so a Downy Dunk is where you put your doll's hair in Downy, the laundry softener. And I decided if I was going to do it to Kirsten, I might as well do it to Lucy as well, because her hair was starting to get a little bit dry. But her hair was nowhere near as bad as Kirsten's, because I learned by then that you need to use a wire brush to brush your doll's hair. So I did the Downy Dunk, and Kirsten's hair got a tiny bit better. It was a little less like straw. Lucy's hair was about the same. And so I'm not sure if it really did a whole lot, and it may have done more damage than good, because now Lucy's hair feels a little bit on the greasy side sometimes. But her hair is still really nice and soft. I can do her hair in lots of different ways, and it still works because her hair is still really nice. So even though I did do the Downy Dunk, and I wouldn't recommend it really because it didn't do a whole lot. Some people report that Downy Dunks permanently ruined their doll's hair. Check out the boiling water method instead. Much better option that won't damage your doll's hair. If your doll's hair is that bad, just get a new wig if you can. You can always send it into the doll hospital, although I would never do that to my dolls that I've had, because they'll get a new head, and I don't want them to get a new head because they've been with me forever. And in my brain, I think of their head as being them and who they are, kind of the same way humans, you know, if you didn't have your head or your face, what are you really? Anyway, that's Lucille McGillicuddy, also known as Lucy. And thanks for watching. And like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.